Good day, gentlemen. I'll make this quick for you. If your goal is a long-term, thriving relationship, and the thing that's holding you back from getting there is that you're too much of a nice guy, then you're very similar to me in the past. Because by now, I've been with my beautiful girlfriend for almost 8 years. But when I was younger, I was the nicest of nice guys. I was always people-pleasing everyone, always pretending like I didn't care about myself and not showing what I actually wanted. And it led to me getting bullied. It led to me getting rejected by girls. It even led to a friend of mine punching me in the face in public and me not doing anything about it. Because look, my entire childhood had taught me that if I pretend like I don't need anything, if I never say what I want, then my parents will not get upset at me. But honestly, that's a shit goal for adulthood, especially for adult relationships, for romantic relationships, is to not upset your partner. That's a shit goal. But subconsciously, that's the goal of every single nice guy, to not upset their partner, to not upset their friends, their parents, whoever else, their boss, right? All that stuff. But that's a shit goal, because do you really want to be in a relationship where the highest standard is that you don't upset your partner? I don't think so. And by the way, my voice is very weird. I've been ill for an entire week, which is probably also why this video will be a bit late. But I mean, at least I have a deep, ratchy voice. Ratchy, that's not the right word. Like I don't know, you get the point, like a deep voice. So you'll probably listen to me. But anyway, there we go. The thing is, the tactic of a nice guy is to keep everything to himself, to keep everything and to not talk about what maybe upsets him about his partner or what he wants from his partner or whatever else. And the thing is, though, everything that you keep in has to come out eventually. And this happened for me as well. And for me, it led to me developing addictions, which is a very common thing about among nice guys. I'm German, by the way. My English isn't perfect, right? But don't mind that. Anyway, very common thing among nice guys to develop addictions. For me, it was porn and social media, right? And the other thing is, and this is also very common among nice guys, is that you become quite an angry person that explodes impulsively. I even remember my girlfriend at the start of our relationship calling me out sometimes and being like, hey, you're not making the decision that you want to make here. Like, I see that you're not saying what you want to say. And that will only lead to you resenting me. It will only lead to you impulsively getting angry at me. And I don't want that. So just say what you want. And I still couldn't do it. But there is one thing that I did over and over again, one habit that I essentially built that helped me overcome my nice guy tendencies. And of course, I could talk about overcoming your nice guy tendencies for hours here, but that would overwhelm you. So I'll just give you one thing that honestly was the main thing for me as well. So, because a current client of mine, his name is Matt, he's from Australia. He recently said this to me on a session that we had, and he basically said about his ex-girlfriend that broke up with him. He said, it seemed like if I don't put her before everything, I will lose her. And then I put her before everything, and I lost her. And I think you can see how this happens. You've probably also experienced this yourself. And this is because the way that you treat yourself determines how other people will treat you. Brother, there are people in your life right now that are dying to treat you well. And of course, you want to be treated well. You want appreciation. You want admiration from other people. There are people dying to give you that, but they can't. Because, like, how would your girlfriend treat you well if you constantly signal to her that she shouldn't treat you well? Let's look at compliments, for example, right? Let's say she gives you a compliment. What do? You brush it off. You don't accept the compliment. You don't just say thank you. So many men struggle with accepting compliments. Of course, we're also not used as men to getting a lot of compliments. So this is a skill we need to build up. But still, what happens? What do you think happens if you essentially call her a liar, tell her that she doesn't know what she's talking about when she gives you a compliment, and tell her that she doesn't know you well enough to actually give you a compliment? Because that's what you're doing by brushing her compliment off and saying like, nah, it's not that big of a deal, whatever else, right? That kind of stuff. Do you think that she'll go and be like, oh, you know what, when I give him a compliment and he calls me a liar and he tells me that I don't know what I'm talking about and that I don't know him well, that was fun, I'll do that again every single day? No. She'll stop giving you compliments. She'll stop treating you well. And this is what happens to most men on a broader scale, right? They get into a relationship. Their partner, their woman treats them very well, But then over time, it just fades and fades and fades. Why? Well, because your only goal is to not upset her. And so you people please her and you constantly sacrifice yourself. And again, the way that you treat yourself determines how other people treat you. The one thing you need to do is you need to start asking yourself, what do I want? Instead of, what do I think these other people want? Or what do I think she wants? Because, look, like when someone asks you, what do you want to do? I remember this one time where I went skiing with my girlfriend. This was at the very start of our relationship, right? We went skiing, but the resort, when we arrived there, they said it's closed for the day because of heavy winds or whatever, right? Some bullshit, which was unfortunate. But hey, we're like, well, we kind of blocked off the day. Honestly, like she was like, well, we blocked off the day, might as well do something different. Hey, let's go to this lake nearby. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But honestly, deep down, the only reason I committed to going skiing with her is because I had made that promise to her a week ago or something. But really on that day, I just wanted to work on my first business at that time. And I had an opportunity to basically tell her like, hey, no, let's go back home. I actually want to work on my business. But I didn't do that. Instead, I went along and said, yeah, let's go to the lake, whatever else. And then what happened? 2 hours later at the lake, I was just not there. I was not present. I was not, like, she was not enjoying that time because I didn't want to be there. If you don't want to be there, she doesn't want you there, brother. If you don't want to be there, she doesn't want you there. Because she'll see that you don't want to be there. And that doesn't give her anything. It makes her feel unloved. It doesn't make her feel loved. And it makes her see that you're not honest. And a lot of nice guys, including me when I was younger, we pride ourselves on being honest and authentic and whatever else, and being so righteous or whatever else, and having such good values and virtues and all this stuff. No, you're a fucking liar. And I was too. If someone asks you, what do you want to do? And the first thing you think about is, well, okay, what does she think I want to do? Or what does she want me to do? I'll answer with that. No, you're lying. You're not honest. It has nothing to do with honesty and has even less to do with integrity, which is even more important. The reason asking yourself, what do I want? And then doing that, which is literally the definition of integrity, the reason that works is because it changes your self-image. Like, look, I'll explain this for you. The reason you don't accept the compliment or you struggle to accept the compliment is because the compliment conflicts with the way that you see yourself. It doesn't align with how you see yourself. If someone calls you whatever, a good thing, and you don't see yourself in that way, there's conflict, and then you won't accept that compliment. So what I really want you to do here is, I want you to do things and make decisions that basically change the story that you tell yourself about yourself. It changes the story you tell yourself about yourself. Really what's happening here for most nice guys is that early on in their life, maybe in childhood, maybe in their first relationship, whatever it might be, like even in adulthood, you can still become a nice guy even if you weren't one before, just because of a not so good relationship, right? Or a not so good boss or whatever else, co-worker, I don't know. The thing is, like, those experiences, whatever it was for you, they shaped a certain story into your mind. They carved a certain story into your mind about who you are and how people should treat you and how you should treat yourself. And that story needs to be changed. And the way that you do that is with not telling yourself some bullshit, visualizing. I mean, those things, yes, they can work, sure. But really, it's about action. Because when you do something good for yourself that you want to do, that maybe even where you maybe even need to say no to other people and disappoint them in that sense, which you're probably very scared of, as I was, when you do those things, you build as Alex Hormozi would say, a stack of undeniable proof. Every action, every time you do something good for yourself, the story in your mind changes a bit, because those actions show your subconscious mind, show your nervous system, all that stuff where those experiences, where that story is coming from, right? Shows it that you are not that person anymore. And Alan Watts, he has this great quote where he said, "You have no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago." That's exactly that. You have no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. What this really does for you is that it shows you that you are worth more than you thought. And it also shows other people in your life that you are worth more than they maybe thought. And they will treat you better, they will respect you more, and they will trust you more because they can see that you're actually finally being honest. And also, and this is very important to note here, it will repel people that shouldn't be in your life. When I started doing this, when I started standing up for myself, it definitely repelled people. Like that friend that I mentioned earlier, who punched me in the face in public. I don't speak to that guy anymore because mainly after school, he wanted to just continue partying, and just the only reason he went to university basically is because he could continue partying. And I wanted to build a business after school. I wanted to actually work hard. I wanted to build something for this world. And that's what I did. And our paths just went apart. There was no like falling out or some bullshit, no fight. No, we drifted apart, which is very normal. But it also, and this is very important, when you do this, it does not only repel people, it also shows the people that should be in your life that they should be in your life. It attracts the right people, not in a law of attraction bullshit kind of way, but in a very simple way. When you act the way that you want to act, when you make the decisions that you want to make, when you do the things that you want to do, when you say the things that you want to say, you show people who you are, and that repels certain people, but other people will be like, I fucking like that guy. That's who I want to be with. And so yes, some friendships ended, but guess what? I have much better friendships now, and my relationship is much better than it was back then. And what's probably most important to note here is that when you do this, it allows you to fill your own cup. It allows you to actually take care of yourself, to make sure that you are good. And when you do that, then there is no reason to get angry at other people. There is no reason to fall into any addictions. There's no reason for that, because there's no reason to escape your reality, because your reality is good, and the story that you tell yourself about yourself is good. And when you do that, not only can you take care of yourself, but you can actually also finally, these flies, man, there's cows right next to me here on the next field, basically, right? So that's where all these flies coming from. But when you do this, fuck, I lost my point now. Let me think. Dude. Yeah, anyway, I'll keep all of this in, I don't care. When you do this, you can not only take care of yourself, and now my voice is dying, you can not only take care of yourself, you can also take care of other people. You can finally actually be there for her. You can fill her cup as well, instead of trying to give to her from an empty cup. Because really that's what's happening for most nice guys in relationships. They sacrifice themselves until their cup is completely empty, and then they try to continue giving to their woman. But dude, your cup is empty. You have nothing left to give. Fill your own cup, and then be that rock for her that she actually needs, that she actually wants, that she's probably telling you that she wants. And one last thing. Your goal is not to become the opposite of a nice guy. Because being a nice guy, it's not great. It's quite bad. We just talked about all the reasons why that is. For yourself and for other people, by the way, right? But the opposite of a nice guy, well, the opposite of crazy is still crazy. I love that quote. Because now you're just going to the other extreme, and that doesn't help anyone. Because now you're just that immature tyrant who hurts other people and hurts himself and loses himself in that. That doesn't help anyone, right? And this is why when you look at the masculine archetypes, the king, warrior, magician, and lover, all of them are in a triangle. And the ones like the king, the main archetype, right? There's two shadow sides of that king, which are the extremes essentially, right? One is, you guessed it, the tyrant. The other is, you guessed it, the nice guy, aka the weakling, as most people say in these archetypes. And then the top is the king, but the king is not further to one side. No, the king is the elevated middle of both. Why? Because it combines the good aspects of both. The tyrant knows how to set boundaries, but he sets boundaries in a not so kind way. The nice guy knows empathy, but he goes too far, right? The king combines both, and there's many different aspects, but I think you get the point. So don't go to the other extreme. Your goal is not to become this tyrant. Your goal is not to always stand up for yourself. Your goal is to become an empathetic leader. That's the goal here. And to combine, yeah, you get the point. I don't have to explain this more. Be kind, don't be nice. There's a difference. And by the way, real quick, if you want to continue learning about relationships and continue learning about how I actually got here, where I have an almost 8-year thriving, fulfilling relationship, and especially how I made that transformation from someone who was basically thinking that he will never get here when I was younger, just being honest here, then what you can do is you can watch this episode next, which is a 1-hour full guide where I basically break down exactly how I got here. So you can go watch that right now, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a great day.